Welcome. In this video we're going to talk about the transport panel in Reason 8.3. So let's go ahead and get started. At the bottom here you have the panel. At the far left you have the keys button. If you press that, you're going to have on-screen piano keys so that you can play any instruments that you have set up in the rack. I have a mouse drum set up. Okay, and so that allows you to play that. You can also access the piano keys by pressing F4. So I'll hit F4 and close that out. It accomplishes the same thing as pressing the button here. The groove button here will bring up the regroove mixer. And I'll go into the regroove mixer at a later time. Cue record essentially will quantize any MIDI notes that you are recording if you're using your MIDI keyboard, and those will be quantized according to what you have the grid set to here. You can click on the down arrow and adjust accordingly there. The quantize just below, I'll turn that cue record off. The quantize button just below here is for quantizing notes that you've already recorded. So if I were to hit the asterisk and bring up my keys, and now we'll go ahead and stop. F4 to close the on-screen keys. I could then, this clip is already selected. You can see by the black border around. If you select that and hit quantize, then it will quantize those notes. I'm not sure if you saw those move, but if I Control Z, I'll undo. You can see a slight movement there. And if I press the quantize button again, you'll see a slight movement. But you can also press the Q key. So I'll press Q. And I'm lying to you. So let me press quantize. Okay, and you can see the slight movement there. Maybe I'm thinking of another DAW for the Q. And moving on, here you have the song position, and this is in bar, beat, 16th note, and ticks, and this indicates where the song position pointer is. So if I move that there, you can see the bars change. I'm on bar 2 here, and that corresponds down here. Just below you have the time, and that's seconds at 2 seconds in for the song, and this is going to change based on your tempo here. You can click and type in, manually put in a position. You can also use the up and down arrows here to navigate. Okay. Now you've got the click. If you want to have a click track while you're recording, simply hit the C key on your keyboard, and I'll just press play. And you can now hear that you have a click track along with your recording or playing back. Using the pre will turn the pre-count on or off. You can use Control P, just as you can see there in the tooltip. Within the preferences menu, you can actually choose whether it's going to count a bar or two. It may go up to 4 bars in advance that it will count for you. I'm pretty sure it does. And this level here will adjust the click track. Moving on, we have the song tempo. You can double click and type in a tempo that you'd like. Also, I like to use the numeric keypad, the plus and minus keys. The minus key will drop the tempo down, stepping down one at a time. Plus will raise it, And the tap is you can tap a tempo in using your mouse. Okay. Time signature. Okay, that's pretty obvious. And you can go ahead and just double click and put in a time signature there. Rewind, forward. On the numeric keypad, you can also use 4 to rewind or 5 to fast forward. 7 will also rewind, and 8 will also fast forward. And you have the stop button. Let me turn the click off. 0 on the numeric keypad also works, or you can hit the space bar. Play, pressing the space bar will start playing. You have record. The asterisk symbol on the numeric keypad will start recording. And I had the pre on, that's why it didn't start immediately. So I'll turn that off. Press again, and immediately you start recording, pressing the space bar to stop. Next you have the dub and alt functions. Now these are basically accomplish the same thing. There's one minor difference, but taking this instrument track, if you have a MIDI track for an instrument and you press the dub key, what it does is it creates a new lane so that you can then record additional information on a separate lane than what you already have. Now if you choose Alt, it's going to create another lane, but it's going to mute the last one, the previous one. Okay? So dub creates a new lane for you to record to without muting the other ones. You see it didn't mute this one here. If I press Alt, then it mutes the last one. You see lane 5 is the last one that's created. It muted 4, and these go down. 3 on the numeric keypad. Let me just clear these out to make it more clear. So 3 on the numeric keypad is dub. So you've got a new lane without muting. 6 on the numeric keypad is alt, and as you see, it's muted that last lane. Now if you're working with an audio track, the dub function creates another audio track that will have the same settings as the one that you initially had selected. So you can see we have it's still labeled track 1 because we hit dub from after audio track 1 was selected, and you have audio track 1, but then you have dub following at the end. And as with the MIDI track, it creates the alt creating another lane but muting the previous one. Alt will create an additional track with the same settings as the previous one, but it will mute the other one. I hope that makes sense. It's very late and I've been working all day, so. And of course, on the numeric keypad, you can use 3 and 6 again. 3 being dub and 6 being alt. And I'm going to just delete those to clear things up. Moving on, we have the loop function. I'll get rid of the browser, hitting F3, and I'm going to make this a bit smaller. If you have a clip selected, you can hit Control L, and the loop locators left and right then go to each end of the clip that you have selected. And here you can press L, and it will turn the loop function on or off. You can also press the / on the numeric keypad. It will accomplish the same thing. Or you can click. Okay, and then that will loop the section here between the left and right locators. And here we just have information on where these locators actually are. So the left locator, it's on 3. And you can double click and put in information for both. Also, if you hit the L, it's going to move the song position pointer to the left locator. If you hit the R, let's see, the right locator is here. If I press R, it's going to move the song position pointer to the right one. Okay, and along with double clicking in here and entering manually, you can use the up and down arrows to change the position of the loop locators. Okay, demo mode is obvious. I'm using the demo mode right now. You also have an area here that you probably can't read. It's very difficult to see, but this is a disk overload indicator. And below that you have automation override. If you're recording automation and you want to hear it before stopping and pressing play again, you can click this and it will make your automation live. Then here you may barely be able to see this circle. This is the calculation indicator. So if you're doing any time stretching to an audio clip, in real time you will hear that change, that time stretch happen. But Reason also does a more in-depth and higher quality time stretch in the background. And this will kind of spin or what have you while it's doing that higher quality calculation. And then once it's done, it will then, anytime you play back the time stretched audio clip in the future, it will play back the higher quality one once it's done. And below that we have the Dsp meter here, and this is basically an indicator that shows how well your processor is doing, the workload of your processor. And then we have 2 meters here for your input and 1 for your out. And you want to pay attention to these because they can show you if you have clipping, particularly the input if you're doing recording. And at the very end here we have a drop to propeller head. So if you just finished up a track and you'd like to upload it directly to propeller head to your account, you do have to have an account set up. You can do that with this button here. And I think the very last thing we'll talk about is, or I just would like to mention, is within the window menu up here, you can hide the transport. Okay? If you're just going to be using hotkeys and you want to have more screen real estate for the sequencer or the rack, you can hide that. And just clicking on window, and now we want to show transport. Okay, I think that's everything. Thanks for watching. Take care.